Well, oh, hi guys, it's me, Mr. Nova 2094, and with a guest star, who is?
Hello, I'm consolethinks. If anyone remembers from last year's video.
Yes, something like that, and so I came up with the idea of why I don't play through this game, Felix the Cat. Ever played this game? Or heard about it?
Me, I heard about it. I think from you actually, but I've never played it. I never felt the need to play it.
Mm-hmm.
I kinda, I already liked NY Cats,
Hmm.
New York Yankees. That's right, that's the name.
Uh, yes, it the two game has a sort of uncanny resemblance to each other, though they have nothing in common. That explains everything.
Well, well, they have something in common. They both have cats. They both have boxing gloves.
Yes,
Inexplicable boxing gloves that came out of nowhere.
yes, that's the only possible connection I can came up with. But besides that, there is nothing that because let's see, the game wasn't made by Hudson Soft. It was Shimada Kikaku, and that was by Atlas Corporation.
Okay. And what about? Does this game have a playing section like Yankees?
Well, it's nothing like it's a linear side-scrolling game, but it is strangely enough one of the best on the whole console. Okay, it's maybe not Super Mario 3's quality or anything like that, but if anybody knows me, I am one of the only few people who actually dislike Super Mario Bros. 3 over games like this.
Well, maybe that's
Yes,
because it's
I'm a
not that.
weirdo.
Mm, mm. Probably that's because it's not really that known, common, or
Yes.
well talked about.
Yeah, the game is actually very rare. In fact, it's kind of like
Collector's
$100.
item.
Yes, it's a very valuable collector's item. So I guess let's start
Well,
because
$100 is not that bad. In
well,
fact, I just checked the prices for Alien Soldier, that game
mhm,
we talked about just
mhm,
recently,
yes.
and that costs around $220 for the European version.
Hmm.
And don't get me started on the Japanese version, which is 500 at least.
Well, one thing that's for sure, prices are insane in these games. So
Oh yeah, and just to mention, just a quick thing. Uh, there's actually a site called AliExpress. I think you've heard about it already.
as
And there you can actually find repros of rare Mega Drive games. For example, Contra the Hardcore or this
mm,
game, but just or Alien Soldiers
mm,
that we talked about,
with,
and
with
that costs around $8 with the original package, a production of the original package and everything.
wait a second. You said you can find repro Sega games.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
For a very, very good price, actually.
Hmm. Speaking of Sega, did you know that this game has that sort of disturbing, quite shocking, horrific image, 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 image thing in that version? You know, when Felix rips his skin out of selves.
Yeah, but that's Russian.
Yes, that's a
That's
Russian
a
bootleg
Russian.
port, which is based on this NES game. Yeah, strange.
Yeah, I've seen it. There's something similar in a Russian Mario clone for the Sega System
Yeah,
too, in which
yes.
it's basically a Mario Odyssey. It's a Mario in space game, I think it's called Mario Odyssey from the movie
Mm.
Odyssey 2000, I think. Um, where when Mario dies, a piranha plant basically eats it comes out of its stomach and Mario dies. That's the image.
So it's kind of
Basically
an alien
alien.
hatching scene recreation. Yes, I remember that. So yeah.
These fucked up things are just mysterious to me, and probably these Russian hacks were made recently because I don't think they were available in the 90s.
Well.
Actually, there are many Russian bootlegs that are quite recent, like with the Lego bootleg,
Mhm.
which basically tries to clone the Lego games and
and
fails miserably at it.
actually these hacks what we just mentioned, I doubt that they are even 3 or plus years old, because I can clearly remember that one of m- these completely screwed up hacks is based on a game that was never even released, which was Time Tracks for the Sega Genesis, although there was a released Super Nintendo version, which is just a very lazy attempt of making a sprite hack or something like that and call it Call of Duty. Yes, because
I know why
logic.
you know. I know why you know about this game. I know why you why you know this game. Why you know about this game called Time Tracks.
Yes,
Do you know
because.
how I know that you know about how you know about it?
Hmm, tell me.
Because the composer is
Well
don't
known.
tell me,
Uh,
is a well-known European composer called uh, Pauline.
yeah,
Which Pauline I can't remember. Tim Pauline, I think.
yes, 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 yes.
um, who is a really talented composer. I heard an interview from him where he mentioned that he didn't really like some of his compositions because it didn't really match the theme of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But many people say that his compositions are the best, me including, and Mr. Norbert also really likes him.
Well, since I made a countless videos about his music, I think it's not really a.
Quite evident.
Yes, exactly. So, but the interesting thing that from Fallen, that game was his only Mega Drive composition he ever did, because the company who made that game went out of business, I guess, at the time when the game was developed. So probably that was one of the reasons why the game was never released in the first place. But which is
Hmm.
kind of a shame, because the game is actually quite good. It's
You played the Super Nintendo version?
yes, and the Super Nintendo version is also great if we talk it about it just a game, but the music is just elevator music and its finest.
Hmm.
Oh, and
Well, it wasn't composed by him,
no, no,
so it.
no, 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 no. It was a completely different man.
I know. I think there exists a short clip from this unreleased version of the game.
Yeah. Oh, and we just clear the first word of this game. So yeah.
And the same interview with Tim Follin, he
Mm,
mentioned that his favorite console to compose on was probably the Super Nintendo.
hmm, hmm. I don't know that, but I think the only most notable compositions he ever did on the SNES was, I think, Rock and Roll Racing and Pluck, I guess, or maybe a few others which don't came to my mind right now.
I sent you on Skype. I sent you a short music from a racing game called let me see, Off-Road, Super
Yeah,
Off-Road,
oh yeah,
which
Super
is
Off-Road.
which is also composed by Tim Follin, and it's actually really awesome. It's quite a simple tune, but really the sharpness is just amazes me.
I wonder if they why they didn't bother releasing Let's Storm for consoles. I guess it was just only on the Spectrum because it's interesting. I guess Off-Road is a racer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But at least it's, I guess, from the name. So, and Let's Storm was also
it's I think it's basically an off-road racing type of game,
a, hmm,
as the name suggests.
yeah.
Off-road means in this case that these are heavy cars with um, four by these are 4x4s basically that and these are races on mud
Mhm.
roads basically. It's somewhat like Colin McRae Rally, if you know about that. It's basically rally racing in stadiums.
Yes, I know that game, though I barely played those. Yeah, but
Well, I didn't really. Well, I've tried several times these realistic driving simulators, but I never found them really that interesting. The
mm,
only realistic drivers that I could play and have some fun with it were
mm,
the classic Need for Speed games that were actually quite realistic, like
well,
Hot Pursuit 2 or Hot Pursuit 1 as well,
well,
if you know those.
of course I know those, but I am more of a carbon type guy, if that means anything to you. I played it on.
Need for Speed Carbon, but I didn't really like that version. I preferred Underground 2 in that category.
Well, the only reason why I don't like it nowadays is because it's just sort of disorienting that the whole game is at night time. So it's like everybody shut down the
There's no
sun. So it's it has this, I don't know how to explain it, sort of post-apocalyptic feel, which is just out of place for me.
you mean edginess? This edgy feeling?
Yes, I mean, why there is no some sort of transition of of daytime and nighttime? Why just nighttime? It's
But you
just
don't understand. It was the mid 2000s. At the time, everything correlated was at nighttime, and everything was illegal racing.
I kn-
The Fast and Furious movies were really popular at the time.
I acknowledge this fact, but it would have been a nice if there is an option, right?
It would have been great, but
Mm,
otherwise,
yes, I can imagine that the programmers would say fuck no. Oh, and I
mhm.
just
And there might be a technical reason behind it. At night time, we can have much nicer graphics with less hardware requirements because at night time we have less things to render. And that's what was used in Gran Turismo 6 as well, because the nighttime
mm,
stages looked amazing on the PlayStation 3, while the and all the while the daytime stages looked kind of bland in comparison.
mm,
And at
well,
the time, it didn't really look that great compared to Forza, which was the Xbox equivalent of Gran Turismo.
yes, I remember playing them back in 2011 or something. But I since I sold my copy, maybe it was a bad idea.
You have a PlayStation 3?
No, an Xbox 360, but I
Yeah,
seriously
yeah, yeah.
I very rarely use that thing. I mean, like 5 times a year, or maybe even less. So
Uh,
yeah, it
have you installed some kind of hack on it to play, to do anything you want with it?
if you're asking if the console is modded to play burn games,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
no. It only plays original software.
Uh, that's a shame. And it's which version of the Xbox do you have? The original fat version or the slim version?
I have this.
Or the S model?
Well, no, this is a question I might cannot answer to you properly. I have a black one, which is I guess it's a version 2 or something like that. But
Then it's
it's
a slim model, I think. If the power button is touch sensitive, then it's a slim model.
it's a slim model.
Mm.
It's
Well, that's still not a big problem because slim models can still be hacked if it's the proper motherboard revision. But
yes, but the good question is, do I really want? Because maybe if I
yeah,
consider selling,
you want to have it.
no, 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 no,
A modded Xbox 360 is worth more than the unmodded one, in my
yes, that's
opinion.
the reason. Because maybe if
Especially in Hungary.
yes, because the reason why am I don't want to mod it, because if I ever want to sell this thing for a reasonable price, I can sell it a little bit more expensive because it's original hardware. If you
No. The chipped consoles sell more, sell for a higher price. In fact,
yes, it will
because they know more than an original Xbox, and because it's not a collector's item, it will always have a bit higher value if you have a chip in it.
mm,
That's the truth, actually.
then I can wait I guess 20 more years when it becomes a retro console. if
Yeah, but
if Xbox will ever be considered as a retro gaming console, but
well, I think in 20 years, no Xbox console will work because Xbox consoles are notorious for having problems. You
yes,
know, the red ring of death and such things.
and
They
the
might still work in 20 years, but I seriously doubt with all those moving parts. These
yes,
old consoles are really durable because they have absolutely no moving parts, no fans, no CD drives, no nothing.
yes, and
They are perfect in their own little world. While
yes,
these more modern consoles are basically a bit complex, a bit flawed in many ways, like the original run of the Xbox 360 was really
mm-hmm.
notorious for having hardware problems.
Yeah,
Some reports say that it was over 55% of the original run of the Xbox 360s were faulty.
yes. So we,
So it was
so
a really big problem for Microsoft. But even then, the Xbox 360 really did well, considering the fact that in Japan the Xbox never really did well. Basically, the Xbox 360 only sold around 4 or 5 million units in Japan, which is a really low number for this country.
yes, maybe they. I guess they still into Nintendo's products. I guess I don't know how
No,
much they
they are
sell the
more of
V.
nowadays. It's more of Sony who takes the cake in
So
Japan.
so a Japanese PlayStation 4 is maybe cheaper if I buy a European one for some weird reason, but I don't know if I ever get a Sony PlayStation 4.
Well, I have no plans of ever getting a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One. I am waiting for the Nintendo Switch actually.
Hmm. Yes. And speaking of Nintendo, if we are in this game where we barely talk about the game itself what I am playing, yes, it's kind of
Oh yeah, I
weird.
see that there are many air vehicles that you can use in this game.
Yes, it has some sort of diverse gameplay, and Interesting note that this is one of the
Is
very
this game based on the movie
no
that
no
was
no
released in the 80s, early
N-
90s,
no 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 no
around?
no no no. This is based on the 1950s animated series, which was already a sort of rebirthing the series because the very original Felix the Cat cartoons were made, I guess, in 1919 or something like that, or 1920s. It's insanely old. It's even older than Mickey Mouse. So,
Well, I know that Felix the Cat was one of the first cartoons
to
ever
for in
made.
yes, in the silent era of cartooning. So it has a legacy on of its own. Though I am saying it honestly, I never watched the show.
Me neither. Actually,
Yeah.
when I was little, I saw something similar where an apprentice of Felix the Cat was the main character,
Hmm.
and he had his own little bag of
Magic tricks.
little magic bag,
Magic.
magic bag,
Yes. S and.
because Felix the Cat has a big yellow suitcase or something like that, which
Hmm.
is a basically a magic bag with which he can do basically anything he wants.
Well,
And
he.
once he found a little cat who resembled Felix very much. He resembles Felix the cat very much,
Mm-hmm.
and who is very similar to Felix the cat. And basically, in the first episode of this
Okay.
series, he gave him a smaller version of his suitcase. He
Hmm.
pulled this smaller version from his suitcase, so it was basically an inception.
So it's a suitcase instead of a suitcase, or what?
Yeah, exactly. I can't
Suitcase of
remember, but
shit.
maybe in this series, it was sort of like the setup of the magic pencil. If you remember that
Yes,
Polish
it's.
cartoon.
It was slash Slovakian or what? Czech,
No, it was Polish. It was Polish.
Polish. But yes, I remember watching them back then a little bit. I was.
Many Western viewers might not know this animated series. It was basically a Polish cartoon series from the Soviet era.
Yes, with.
It's a really clever series. Really resembles the Felix the Cat and the other really classic cartoons in a way because
Maybe it was
the
its
main
main
character
inspiration.
basically has a yeah maybe
Who
the
knows?
main character has an item that can basically do anything the author wants,
So he.
and in a way it really resembles Felix the Cat too.
Hmm, yes.
So back to the topic. Do you remember when in each episode some problem appears and then the gnome appears to give the little kid the magic pencil, and at the end of each episode he basically takes it away in some fashion
Hmm,
to not get it abused basically.
maybe I can't say for sure, but it was such a long
Rewatch some
time
episode and
ago.
rewatch some episode and you will remember.
Okay,
So that was the basic setup.
okay.
And I think it was the same thing with this Felix Junior thing,
Yeah.
where Felix the cat would give this smaller version of his suitcase, yeah, at the beginning of each episode, and he would take it away at the end of each episode.
Concentrate.
But I can't really remember for sure.
Yes, but
And
when it.
I think, sorry, go on.
Uh, I was just talking about that. How the hell I even met with the figure Felix the Cat, and from what I can remember, since I am a sort of fan, I can say that, not die-hard fan of the nostalgia critic dude, and I remember he saying really nasty things about a 1988 film, Felix the Cat,
Yeah.
which is from what I'm seen or heard about the plot itself, it is really crazy. But considering that I am one of the very few people who love Tom and Jerry the movie, maybe it's not that bad.
Well, when I was little, I really liked the Tom and Jerry movie. Nowadays, I find it a bit too simple and really just a market ploy in some ways, like the nostalgic critics said.
Mm,
But I still like that movie too.
yes,
It's
e-
basically
but even watching the critics and sometimes thinking into what is really going on, it really is sometimes a mind fuck that some sort of clown and not clown. You know the chase scene when he
oh
explains that.
yeah, 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 yeah. The mind fuck
Yes, ladies and gentlemen,
part.
welcome to that part. So yeah, it's funny. If you viewers never watched that episode, I encourage you.
Yeah, when I first seen that episode, I really laughed out loud. I really liked that part.
Yeah, or the big lip animation. Um, big lip. What is that? Big
Big
lip.
lip alligator moment.
Exactly. What I was thinking about. So
Yeah, there's character basically begins to sing about something, and then at the end of the song, there's no anything relevance in this to the story of this song, or this character will be never referred again.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm a bit
Yeah,
yawning.
I remember those. Basically, this is an idea of the nostalgic chick who is a feminist, I think, and she already stopped being the nostalgic chick because of her political views of being a feminist. Basically, she viewed her status as a nostalgic chick as just a female version of the nostalgia critic, and I don't know, it was basically some really weird bullshit reason why she stopped, but if she feels any better with with her decision, then it's fine by me.
From
I never really
you know
watched many of her videos because
you know what
they weren't that funny.
you know what let's stop for a second because for a random moment a very interesting quote came into my mind from an excellent movie called Wayne's World. Yeah, it's like Star Trek The New Generation. It gets shittier every single one and never be good as the original ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, I do not want to touch on her because some of her videos were quite good actually, but indeed it wasn't really that great. So maybe it was for the better to have her own identity.
Yes.
But still,
And I don't
a very good meme. Do you know the meme where some sausages slap a girl's face?
I can't remember, but don't show me because I'm in the middle of a game recording, you know. I will after I finish this game, and for some reason I'm having an Echo the Dolphin homage or something. Hey, what are you doing with my mouse?
Yeah. Sorry. I just go. I was moving my mouse and then it was through the window
Yes, the
of
wonder.
the stream.
Yes, this is the wonders of Team Weaver. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Insert promotion here because Skype sucks when it comes to recording.
Well, I will send it through Skype, and when you log into Skype again, you will see it, but not now.
Yeah.
Basically, it's Lindsay being slapped by some sausages which represents when something was sexualized in a film
Hmm.
or something like that. And I can't remember the exact context of this scene in her review, but I do know when something beautiful is in a 9gag post, many commenters basically post this gif
Hmm.
to say that they like the girl in the picture.
Oh wait, you mean a girl is thrown F with sausages at? Because
Yeah,
okay, I think I know what are you talking about right now because I
yeah, that's Lindsay, or aka the nostalgia chick.
hmm, okay. Okay, I guess then mystery is solved now. Who is the chick on that picture gif?
Yeah, well, it's from one of her reviews. I can tell because I saw that review. I haven't seen all of her reviews, but I've seen that one.
Yeah. Okay, and so little bit back to Felix the Cat to to talk about a little bit of that. So as you can clearly see, it's a side-scrolling platformer. No shit, Sherlock. And this is actually one of the rare instances of games when it uses the PPU bitmask 2001, which enables the emphasis bits to dark slash dim the screen for possibly preventing eye strain from little children playing video games.
No, I think it was meant to have some effects like shadowing and uh,
Well,
increasing the light in the picture for some effects like shadows, or I don't know.
it could be used with the
Like in, there's a similar feature for the Mega Drive whereby each tile can be darkened or lightened with a bit in the VDP. VDP is the PPU
ah,
of the Mega Drive.
yeah.
And with the special bit, you can dim or lighten a specific part of the picture. I think in this case, you can only lighten or darken the whole picture, not just part of it.
hmm Well, it and but the emphasis bits on the NES, it kind of does everything. Though I think there is a way to just dim a few colors or just use color emphasis. So it's an interesting mixture. Or use grayscale like in Noah's Ark, the Europe only NES game made by Source or whoever. It's actually not a bad of a game, but it's just so hard. It's not really worth to go insane with the challenges of that. And uh, why? And this level is clearly ripping off Super Mario World. What do you
No,
think?
Super Mario Land. Super Mario Land.
Yes, probably because the
It's ripping off. It's not Super Mario World, but Super Mario Land. It's the ripping off Super Mario Land,
and y-
possibly the first game of Super Mario Land for the Game Boy.
yes, possibly because this the music is even a very has this distinctive Egyptian tone. Yeah, weird.
Huh.
Hmm.
Egyptian tone in an underwater level. That's
Mm,
weird.
mm, or maybe not exactly.
Your submarine has evolved into a turtle.
Yes, a turtle who spits bubbles or something. Yes, they are clearly bubbles. So and jellyfish.
It's kind of funny.
Oh, oh no. Do you know what came into my
I
mind?
think last Saturday, but What came to your mind?
Uh, did have you watched Nostalgia Critics? Okay, again we are talking about him. Ansi's review of The Room, which is considered to be one of the worst movies ever put on cinema. You know,
Yeah, I've seen that
I,
review.
I
It's
did not
quite famous.
I didn't hit her. That's bullshit. Oh hi Mark. You know what I'm talking about. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
and before
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
that's okay, but that's not the point. So I'm playing a game with an underwater level, and before he reviews the movie, he's the Doug Brown lookalike character says that the world now is ruled by seahorses. Get
Really?
it? Yes. I can clearly remember shit like this. I have no idea how, but I just do. I'm getting.
Uh, in on the scene
Oh,
in the
wait,
game,
wait, wait,
we
wait,
can
wait,
clearly.
wait. I'm getting mad, Felix. I can't control myself anymore. Uh, why at the have I have a feeling that they just could have used a very bad sexual joke right there. I can't control myself.
Mm. Well, I wanted to say something else about the palettes being completely different for the top and bottom half of the image. Basically, they use just two palettes for the top and bottom half of the image to have contrast.
You mean in this game?
No, for the cutscene, only for the cutscene that we
Oh,
just saw.
yes. That is just dimming. Yeah.
No, that wasn't dimming. That was well, the top half only used one palette, and the bottom half used another palette for all
Hmm.
the tiles.
Okay. There will be another more cutscenes, so we will analyze it a little bit more deeply. That's mm,
More deeply,
yeah,
not deep there. That does not exist.
deeply. Okay, no,
More deeply.
yes.
If you have more, you don't have to conjugate the adjective.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
I hope. I
Hmm.
haven't. I don't really practice English anymore, so I have a very bad pronunciation. I still have to think what I want to
Uh,
say.
and I don't even.
Nowadays, I speak in French, so it's kind of
Yes.
evident.
So it's. So I guess for you it's a little bit too. It's bit more harder because you are concentrating on one language and you are speaking right now, which you are not really using as much. Or
Well, I
well,
can
maybe.
clearly understand many accents in English. I can understand most 99% of all English text. But the thing
Mm,
is, I don't really speak in English, so it's kind of
a problem. Oh,
unnatural to me.
speaking of accents, can you understand Australian accent?
Yeah, mostly.
Well, because I just simply can't. I'm not
The
joking
problem
right
with
here.
with Australians is that they use many weird words,
N-
basically.
not just the
Uh,
words,
they have a vocabulary, a weird vocabulary, a weird standard vocabulary that they use.
and
Sometimes they use so many weird things in a sentence that you can't understand anything at all what they are saying.
not just that, but the way are how they are spelling slash saying words to you is just totally out of your normal context of using. So how do I explain this? So if I want to
But
say
they
the
write the words in the same way, so that wouldn't be
so if I
a
want to
difference.
say the English verb time, they spell it like time or something very unnatural to your ears. I'm not joking right here. I heard and some in a show which was on TV.
I can't really do accent impressions in English. Really, I can't do
I
expression in
m-
any language. But
Me neither.
the thing is, the Australian accent is like a sort of a British accent, but with
But
twist, basically,
but more twisted and little, oh, how the
and
hell
with a lot
that
of mates
thing
and
hit me.
with a lot of mates.
Mm,
You have to use a lot of mates when you speak in Australian English.
yeah. Ouch.
Mate.
Wait. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
here we go to the next round, mate.
here we are at the next. I don't know. Oh, how to say it. Uh,
Round.
at the
The
next
game console.
ASL. You know, something completely. Hey, oh, the reason why I wasn't paying attention because my mouse just went alive. Went alive. What the hell I
Vent
am saying? Um,
became alive.
yes.
Came to life.
And I miserably died. Just perfect.
It's a Frankenstein mouse.
Yes. Y- yes, my mouse. And that looks like some sort of. What, a green dinosaur? Which spits fire. I am.
Well,
And why is this stage look like something from Sonic the Hedgehog?
in my opinion, it looks more like a stage from Super Mario World with the dinosaurs and such.
Hmm. Oh, I already was here. Oh, I was already here. Okay.
And the backgrounds look like something from Joanne, if you know the game.
Yeah. Which was ported onto almost every home console and yes, NES, Game Boy, SNES, Genesis. Anyway, so was quite a
Mega,
popular game. Yes,
but
Mega
did you
Drive.
say Genesis?
Uh,
Genesis?
oh, Mega Drive. Okay, I don't live in the Genesis world. It was just a solid mistake. Oh, am I fighting with
I
myself?
hope it was just a slip of the tongue.
Yes, because
Uh,
why you desperately hate the word Genesis or what? Or it's just so unnatural?
yeah, well, you're a European, so use the European version slang, not the American version, which basically just a bastardizer name because the
Mhm.
original name was always the Mega Drive. And the
Mhm.
Mega Drive is much cooler than the Genesis. Genesis is just a religious term for beginning or something. While Mega Drive just basically tells you that it is the
Yes.
king of the 16-bit era. But yeah, I kind
Oh.
of prefer the Super Famicom in the era, but
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
well, the two are really awesome consoles, basically.
Okay. So vocabulary speaking, so it's kind of like I am if I am saying that Felix the Cat is one of the lesser known games on the Famicom, which is kind of a contradictory in itself.
Why? Because it wasn't released for the Famicom or something?
It was unreleased, though there might be a Japanese prototype around somewhere in the wild. Yes, this is why I said it is a contradictory in itself. Though the game was significantly popular in the dandy era of gaming, so it was released on a million multi-carts and
So you
single
want to
cart.
say that this game was really popular for people who had clone consoles like the Dandy or the yellow or the Sega, which played the yellow cassettes in like in as in
Yes.
Hungary.
Yes, exactly. And sadly enough, I never, I repeat, never owned this game, and nor I do to this day. Only if I
Oh, did
wanted.
I mention to you that I might be getting SB 2000 Famiclone?
Nope. You just only mentioned
Did,
lastly what I can remember is that you have a new Everdrive for your Mega Drive. Is
exactly.
yeah,
You
Everdrive.
know, that's where the name comes from, because originally Kriegs only released Kriegs' first
Hmm.
flashcard was for the Mega Drive, so he called his first flashcard the Everdrive.
Hmm. Makes sense.
And after that, the name
What?
stuck, and he basically called all of his
What the hell
flashcards
was that?
Everdrive plus the name of the console. What happened? Is this a glitch or something?
Yeah. Normally, I am not allowed to touch anything, nor to touch the birds. But for some reason,
Mm-hmm.
I did, and did not die. What the hell?
Dial.
Or not die, fall miserably into the nothing. I just yes, because I just don't know why, because I don't really like to use the word died or death in a video game. Or at least I just like to call I just screwed up or I missed. Yes, vocabulary.
Well,
Vocabulary all
or you
over the place.
or you fell out of the bird.
Yeah.
You touched the enemy and you fell out of the bird.
Fell into the heads up display.
Mm-hmm. You fell out of the TV.
Yeah. And Jesus Christ, I have 31 lives. So, as you
Well,
can.
you are you might be a pro at this game.
Not really, because this game is actually also known for being super easy, but
Oh.
does not make it for a bad game because how to explain it if I am really want to explain these YouTube reviewers or celebrity people. Did you ever came across some sort of weird dude called Game Dude? It has some sort of weird username,
Mm,
Alexander 4488. So basically, just imagine a whiny dude who complains anything in a video game except for.
he complains about everything
So
in a video game.
it's kind of like, why is this blue? Why is this word blue? Why the controls so finicky? Or why I can't play the more characters from the Felix the Cat universe and shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
And and he claimed that he was a direct inspiration from the Angry Video Game Nerd, and that's why he made one of the most obnoxious title songs for his videos. Thankfully enough, he is inactive nowadays. Oh my god, thank god. But if you look
Do
at
you do you remember the irate gamer?
of course I do.
He was
I
an even shittier version of AVGN.
yes, exactly. But there he has a few reviews which I kind of enjoy in a sort of sense, but looking back,
Do you know what he does now?
uh, he still does reviews as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned. He launched his
yeah,
season
he's
5 because I follow him on Facebook for some reason.
really.
Yeah.
You are that sad,
Yes.
desperate. Yeah, that's desperate that you follow human spray. Facebook too.
I'm not necessarily saying I'm hating, but I don't always agree with his opinions. If that says
Mm-hmm.
explains anything, but it's but I can relate to this exactly for everything. So, for example, even AVGN has a sort of guilty pleasure for doing that. Like if you look at his earlier reviews, Mag Kids, Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle and Blowout, they are decent games. So he was just acting with those titles, and I guess
Mm-hmm.
I think you agree with that fact. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when I was a kid and I only had around 12 years. I was only 10 years old. I wrote an email to the angry video game nerd
Hmm.
because
Really?
I wanted him to. Yeah, yeah. It was really weird, but I remember what I wrote him. Basically, I saw the review of his review of Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle for the NES,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted him to review the Game Boy version.
Hmm. And did he ever reply to that? Or
No, I think he already had millions of views, so
mm,
it was not possible.
yes. And okay. So what were you saying that this is some sort of grace?
Well, I wanted to say, uh, go on a bit,
Okay.
go on with the cutscene a bit more.
Okay.
No, stop now. As you can see, the top and the bottom uses only two, the top background and the uh, top and the bottom background uses only two palettes for everything. The top uses a blue based palette, and the bottom uses an orange based palette.
Yeah.
And blue
Yes.
and orange are complementary colors, so they
Ah.
complement each other.
Yeah. 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 Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense.
And the other thing is that two parts of the backgrounds only use this palette for everything.
Hmm.
There's not much variation. I think the picture uses a black as well. The NES uses four colors for each tile,
Well, if
so you have to consider this limitation.
yes, yes, because the fourth color is always a transparent bit, which is black in normal speaking. But I think I think that this is just for background. It's not a sprite, I guess.
Hmm.
So now that we examined in a great detail this, let's go to the last worlds, which is actually eighth word is just seventh. Never mind, because the eighth word is just a crazy hard space shooter level. Yeah, spoiler.
That that's a hard level.
Yeah, because it's a improperly speaking, it's a one-hit die level, but normally it's a
One
one-hit
hit KO.
death. Yeah, or one-hit miss, if I want to speak in my vocabulary.
One hit you die. So you can lose lives very easily in that stage.
Yeah, so I can lose as many lives as I much, or tries, or whatever Felix says. Oh, and if you haven't
Hmm.
guessed already, so the game is kind of works in a sense of like this, that you can collect hearts, which increases your magic abilities. So I can turn into a magician, into a car like I am using, and a tank. and they gave you power-ups, which makes your journey a hell of a lot more easier. Because
Mm-hmm.
in normal ways, one single contact with any enemy, and you are flying out of the heads-up display.
Mm-hmm.
And
Um, I just remembered that I recently tried out Echo the Dolphin for the Mega Drive,
and
and it was actually quite good. It wasn't bad.
well, the problem with me is that with Echo is just it is classified for me as a where the do I go kind of game, and what I'm really supposed to do, and since I suck at it, I didn't really pay much attention to that game. Maybe it was a
How much do
mistake.
you progress?
Not really, maybe level 2, I guess. Seriously, I
Mm-hmm.
haven't played that game like 2 years, 3 years, even more.
Do you have that game?
Of course, I have in my Sega folder, obviously.
Ah, I thought that you edited it officially in a cartridge form.
Oh, in a car? No, 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 I don't have it. I,
I am planning on getting it for Christmas.
well, then good job getting that thing.
I don't think it's that rare.
Me neither. It was released in all regions, I presume. Europe, US,
I think it
Japan.
was released in every region, so
Yes,
it
so
wasn't.
so it must be a common card. So here I
Mhm.
can guess you can buy it for a few mere dollars.
Yeah, I guess it's around $8 or something like that, or 10.
Oh no, because I can't don't even know what was the last game I even bought in this year. Maybe it was Wits, because I mostly collect Famicom stuff lately.
Hmm.
Hmm. Or- Oh no 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 no! It was a complete in box copy of Abadox for the NES, which is a great shooter.
Hmm.
Maybe we should make a video about that game as well, because why not?
Well, on the French eBay, it's 13 euros plus 3 euros shipping. It's not that bad. Well, I can even find a much better offers like 9 euros or 10 euros, but it's the complete inbox version.
Sounds decent. I always go for a if I can financially uh, conquer it all. Okay, if I can buy the get things for cheap, I always go with complete inbox condition. And
Hmm.
who else wouldn't do that? But
Hmm.
I think we have a mutual friend who doesn't collect boxes at all. Only cards.
Uh,
Balazs from
and have
the
you?
group.
Yeah, I know him.
That baldy guy who the
Yeah, I remember. I remember. I remember. I remember.
yeah.
And he doesn't like boxes.
No, he not really. Ring, 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 ring. Felix, you did a good job getting here, but this will be our last battle. Click.
Click.
And why do I have the feeling that this character was a direct inspiration to make Dr. Wily?
Mm.
And this,
Dr. Wily's original inspiration wasn't this cartoon, but
are you sure?
the inventor called Einstein. Or not inventor, but scientist.
You mean the real Einstein?
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
While Dr. Light was based on Thomas Edison.
Hmm. Oh, it makes sense since. Oh, and now I completely get it since Albert V. Wiley and what was like surname? Oh, you.
I can't remember really,
Hmm.
but I know the thing that actually in real life Thomas Edison was more evil than Einstein. Einstein was really pacifist, while Thomas Edison basically murdered animals to prove that Tesla's invention, which was the alternating current electricity,
Hmm.
was more dangerous than DC, his invention,
Hmm.
quotation marks. DC stands for direct current electricity,
Hmm.
because AC kills animals more fast than DC. So he basically demonstrated this with real life animals. He basically connected them to AC current, and basically he fried them
Wow.
on in public,
Hmm.
just so he could throw mud at Tesla, because Tesla was way more talented than Edison. Edison started with the light bulb and the DC current and some basic stuff, and Tesla made it all the more uh,
Hmm.
useful with the AC current, which is a way more efficient way of transmitting um, transferring electricity in distant places,
Hmm.
or the use of
Oh,
vacuum
last word.
tubes, which was also Thomas Edison, and which was also an invention of Thomas Edison, the vacuum tubes.
Hmm.
Um, he basically used them to create logic gates like AND, NAND, XOR, OR, etc., which is basically the base of the computer nowadays. But it wasn't. It's the basically the processors are made up of NAND
Hmm.
gates, but they don't use vacuum tubes. And
Hmm.
Tesla's only invention was the vacuum. It was the use of vacuum tubes as logic
Hmm.
gates. It wasn't anything special. The
Hmm.
first computers use the vacuum tubes for logic gates, but since the invention of transistors, every computer uses transistors to in its construction, because transistors can fit into a much smaller space than vacuum tubes. If we still use vacuum tubes, probably we would still be at the level of the NES. We would just reach the level of the NES hardware, and we would have a gigantic computers, because vacuum tubes takes up a lot of space, and they would generate a lot of heat as well, because vacuum tubes
Hmm.
are really not that efficient.
And this is how we went from the look of the final boss's character to computer science. Amazing.
Yep,
Oh,
exactly.
and if we really talk about, did you know that fact that Hungary was one of the very first countries where the when the programming education was the very boundaries and very first started back in 1959 by Laszlo Kalmár. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Hmm.
No, not at all.
It was the very first country where they uh, from the great words of the teacher, it was like teaching students to read a bicycle without a bicycle. Isn't that amazing?
But I didn't quite understand that. Reading a bicycle.
No, yes, riding a bicycle or teaching how to
Riding.
riding. Yes, riding or cycling, whatever.
Hmm.
You get the point.
Ride a bicycle is good, but I understood reading, which doesn't
Oh,
make any sense.
reading the guy. Yes, that completely doesn't make any sense. You are correct about that. 100%. And yeah.
Um, but it's interesting indeed, and I know for a fact that in the 1980s and late 1970s, uh, Hungary had a huge program to advocate programming courses in high schools, and it was quite popular at the time with these home computers like the Spectrum, the ZX Spectrum, or the Commodore 64, Commodore Plus 4. Basically, Commodore Plus 4 was only ever popular in Hungary because in the West it was a failed computer
Yes.
because
And that's
the
prob
picture processing the chip which was responsible for the picture was very basic in comparison to the Commodore 64. Certainly people were interested in in Europe, but the processor was much more advanced than what was in the Commodore 64, so there was some good qualities to the Plus 4 too. And many Hungarians took advantage of this extra horsepower in the processor to create some quite good games, but I've never really played them, so I can't really tell for
mm,
sure.
me neither. If we maybe count Impossible Mission 2, which is
That was released for the Plus 4.
I guess, but I wouldn't say 100% sure.
I seriously doubt that was the case. I think it was only released for the Commodore 64 and the NES,
Yes. Maybe I
and not
mean
the Plus 4.
but the problem with Plus 4 that I only played like one game really for that system, which is which is a very shameless ripoff of Nibbles, when where you are a snake and collecting apples.
Well, because, like I said, there wasn't much support for Plus 4.
Mm,
So many Hungarians basically took games from other countries and ported them to this console
yeah.
and had a different name, and some sprites were changed too to make it less apparent that it's just a clone.
Or to prevent lawsuits, which was very a
I don't
big
think
thing.
that I don't think any was really that afraid of lawsuits because at the time Hungary was a communist country where copyright didn't really exist that
Yes.
much. I think they respected the copyrights of Western countries, so it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that enforced either.
Yes.
So, so for example, pirated movies were really popular back in the day. I remember my mother telling me that she had a copy of a bootleg Star Wars movie where a guy would read in the translation of what the characters are saying in Hungarian.
Which is one of the crudest ways of translating anything, and the most
Exactly.
ear greeting. Oh, and
But this is where the tradition comes from for
yes,
Hungarian dubs,
yeah.
where the titles and the all the texts are read in instead of properly translated in text.
Can't imagine a film in nowadays society with this mentality. It would be a total chaos.
Well, it was only you finished the game.
Yes, and Felix crashed to the moon and they died miserably. This is the reason why there
You got
was
it.
never. This is the
You
reason
got
why that.
into the.
Yes, I beat the game. This is the reason why this game never got a sequel.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was the
You know, it's a game theory.
Okay.
Just to mention
Yeah.
them too. Fucking game theorists.
But it's
Hey,
a theory, a game theory.
yeah,
Thanks for watching.
yes, that's an order, and I hope you guys learned something from this video, because I sure hope learned one thing. Stay off drugs.
Hmm.
Okay, so this
And
is
did the console lock in or something?
what?
Is this a hard lock screen? You
Yes.
know, where the processor freezes and you can't do anything until you reset the console?
No, if I press the start button it throws me to the title screen.
Okay.
Okay, so
Because
epilogue
some old games
locks the
ended
screen.
the
Yes, I know what
basically
you're.
ends the program code when you reach the end screen.
Yeah, so it's not kind of a loop like this, because now you can
Mm.
play the game again to beat that high score. You know, as long
Oh,
as you want.
goody!
Yeah.
Oh, goody! Let's beat that high score.
Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. I'm logging out. Bye.
Good night.